Hello everybody, my name is Miyanda Maseti and I'm a BMX racer. BMX racing is a really interesting sport, if I'm being honest. It's really fun, you go over bumps, you get corners, and it's basically who finishes at the finish line first. I started riding in 2015 because of my older brother. I was at the phase in my life where I was copying everything that he did. So I literally nagged my dad for like months to let me ride, and then he finally did. And I don't know how I decided to become elite, but I just remember watching one race and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that one day.
Hi everyone, my name is Miyanda Maseti. I am Miyanda's dad. I also serve as a coach from time to time, but she's always got a dedicated coach. But on times when she doesn't have a coach, I play that role. At the beginning, I didn't want her to race, so I kept her out of the track for some time, but after persisting, then I allowed her to race. But then when she started racing, you could just see that it's something that she loves. And I mean, most of the dads that were there, they also commented on her capability, that she can be a very good rider. So I started seeing myself, because I didn't know BMX at the time. But yeah, since her early ages, I could see that she is doing something that she really likes.
To prepare for competitions, I normally just go ride and feel comfortable on the track, make sure that I know the track and that I feel comfortable enough to race with people, next to people, and put my best foot forward. So I always just make sure that every time I go to the track, I ensure that I find the lines that work for me and ensure that I feel quick and ready to race.
We've been playing a very good supporting role from her early ages, from when she started going to the national champions all over the country. And obviously, as a family, we would pay for basically everything, the transportation, registration, and basically accommodation. So we've been doing basically everything for her, and also supporting her emotionally, as well as with whatever things that she would need, like things like the training gear and bicycles and so on and so forth.
What motivates me to continue in my sport is the fact that I love it. I really enjoy doing my sport, and every moment in my sport, every time I go to the track, I'm having fun and improving, and I feel like that's the main thing that drives me to do well in my sport, because I love it so much, and I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it.
The challenges I could think of is her falling, so it's kind of difficult for me to see her fall, but over the years she tried to make sure that every time when she falls she would stand up quickly, and then she would immediately go and race, because I told her in the beginning that if she falls then that's it, but she didn't want me to say that. So she would fall, and then the next thing she's at the gate again racing, So I think the one thing that has always been a challenge was basically seeing her fall, but over the years then you get used to it, that it's part of the game, it's part of the sport. Seeing her compete in Paris was touching, in that she was next to her idols, So I remember when we went to the US for the first time to do the World Champs in Rock Hill, I saw her idol Mariana Payon, and I stopped her so that I could go and find Miyanda so they could take a picture. She actually stopped and waited, and I looked for her all over and I found her, and then they took a picture. And then seeing her on the gate at the Olympics with her idol was something out of this world. It was it was a dream that at the beginning you would think it wouldn't come through, but it had materialized, So it was so awesome to see her there, and seeing her being called against the greats, She had next to her ladies who won the Olympics, especially Bethany Shriver, who won the Olympics on the previous Olympics, So it was a moment that was surreal, you know, to basically witness her competing in that stage.
Honestly, I was really nervous the entire time. It was really crazy to see that I was on par with everybody else, like that was on that stage, and that I was able to be there and compete with some of the people that I looked up to my entire life. It was a really cool experience. One of my biggest challenges at the Olympic Games is when I got injured, because I got injured just a month before and I tore my rotator cuff. So I wasn't able to ride a month before and I really needed that training, so it kind of threw me off my game. But for me, I just had to remind myself that I worked hard to be here and I worked hard to be able to go there. So I just made sure when I got to the track, I put in what I could, especially like with the injury, and made sure that I was okay. I made sure that the whole time that I know where I was going to be and that I would be okay.
Seeing Miyanda competing at the Paris Olympics, it was so fulfilling in that we both witnessed basically what she's been working towards for a very, very long time since she started getting the interest in cycling. I think she had her interest and her focus on the Olympics when she competed for the first time in the US, you know, so seeing that coming to fruition, I mean, it was very exciting.
My most memorable moment on the field, like on the track, was when I spoke to Mariana Fayon. She's like the queen of BMX right now. She won 2 Olympic gold medals and a silver. But I remember before racing, I was like, before the first race, I was so nervous. And she just looked at me, she saw that I was panicking. And she was literally like, it's okay, calm down, you've got this, you know what you're doing. And then like, it was really cool to have that moment with her. So I feel like that was one of my highlights. And off the track, I would say when I was like riding around the village, it was so surreal for me, especially like when I got to see all the athletes and everybody at the top of their games there. And I got to see people that, you know, you wouldn't see in regular life. So it was really awesome to see all the athletes and all the hard work and dedication it took for everybody to be there.
My favorite memory of the Olympics was just basically seeing her towards fulfilling her goal, how happy she was. I think the main goal for me is to cultivate that smile from her, to see her so happy in that her long-time dream is about to materialize. And the other part was that on her birthday, it was the opening ceremony. So she celebrated her birthday on her opening ceremony. So she was all over the moon. So for me, it was so awesome to see her happy and fulfilling her dreams, you know.
It felt really good to win my first elite title at the African Champs when I won my first gold medal, because it felt like a really good achievement to add to my roster, you know, especially saying that this was my first title in elite, so it was really cool. For me, I think the biggest lesson I've learned is to stay calm and not put too much pressure on myself, because throughout the year last year, I think I put too much pressure on myself and I ended up taking away from the joy I found in my sport. So this year, I'm just going to make sure that I have fun with it, because that's the main reason I joined the sport and the reason that I became so good at it. To me, excellence means showing up every day the best you can and showing up and giving 100% every single time you go to the track, every single race that you do, and leaving everything that you have on the track, at the race, at the trainings, and in everything you do, in the gym sessions, in the sprint sessions. Just making sure you are showing up as your best every single time.
Excellence starts with a positive mindset, you know, and then everything else follows. So we've been working on making sure that on every event that she participates in, she's well prepared, she's well trained. If she's got areas that she is weak on, we would focus basically on those areas. Like for example, if she knows that at that level she needs to have like good gaits, So we basically spend time on the gates, just to make sure that she improves the gates. And then what we've seen on the World Champs and also on the Olympics is that her gates were like comparable to the world's best, So that was part of making sure that we're working on things that matter, So excellence is something that is ingrained in what we do to try and make sure that she gets to that level. So we work very hard in making sure that we fixing whatever weaknesses that we have to make sure that she can compete at the highest level.
The Bidvest OPEX program played a big role in my journey to the Olympics, especially because in South Africa we don't really have the facilities in order to train at the level I need to be to compete at the Olympic Games. So the OPEX program came in clutch because I needed to go overseas to go train at the tracks and get experience on those types of tracks. So it really helped me in getting me to those races and getting more race experience, because that is one thing that I also really lacked. So getting to race at the highest level with the best people and train with them was a blessing that OPEX provided me, and I'm really grateful for it.
So yeah, the Bidvest OPEX program played a huge role in her journey towards the Olympics. As you know, that the sport is very expensive, and the challenge we have in South Africa is that we don't have tracks that are equivalent to the tracks that they use in Europe and elsewhere across the globe. And we don't have what we call an 8-meter start hill. Like this track is like more like 5 meters, but for elites, you would need that 8-meter start hill. So the Bidvest OPEX program helped a lot in that it afforded us the opportunity to go to Europe to go and train there. So she had to go and train in Europe. She was in France, she was in Belgium, she went to the US as well to prepare for the World Champs as well as the Olympics. So we're really grateful for the support that we got from the Bidvest OPEX program that she's been in. It has helped her in regaining confidence and also in the belief that she can compete against the best in the world. Obviously it was her first Olympics, and we believe that going forward and the next Olympics she'll be there to go and compete to win the gold medal.
This year I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing. My goal for this year is to just train and not put so much pressure on myself to go race. So this year is going to be just more of a foundation year. If I do go to races, I'm not sure. It'll just be dependent on how training goes. But this year is all about training and getting better for the next season.
So her journey has mainly inspired the whole family. Going through the Olympics, the whole family was like basically behind her, and obviously it has instilled a sense of possibility. In that nothing cannot be achieved. There will be that sense that in the whole family they always watched Olympics, but they've never watched someone from the family. So that sort of like inspired basically everyone, friends and family, to believe that this is achievable, this is doable, whether it's in BMX or whether it's in other sports as well. So if one of us like within the family can do it, that means everyone else can do it. Yeah, the advice I can give, especially to parents, is that their word matters most, better than any other person out there, because they know their children very well. They know when they're down, they know what makes them tick, they know when they're upset, when they are happy. So because you're raising the children, you're with them like week in, week out, as opposed to I would say the coach. But I'm not downplaying the role of the coach, but the coach won't know much about the emotional side of your child. So my advice would be presence, for parents. So if you can be present most of the time, it also helps with instilling that sense of confidence, because your word means more than any other person's word out there, And also my slogan of persistence wears down resistance. You may not see what you're doing now, you may not see where it will end, but if you keep persisting, one day you'll start seeing that your dream is closer than you think. And that's what had happened with her.
To all the young South Africans who'd like to achieve their goals, all I say is show up every single day and just try. Because you don't know how far you'll get. Because when I started riding, I was not sure how far the sport would take me, but I showed up every day and I trained every day, and it led me to where I am today.